What's good, guys? Welcome back to the official Unorthodox YouTube channel. My name's Gio, and today we got the indoor performance review on the Nike Kobe 6 Protro Grinch. And before we get started, I just want to invite you guys to subscribe to the channel. We normally do outdoor performance reviews, but hey man, it's Kobe. I want to preserve the shoe for as much as I can. That's why we went all the rounds to try to get ourselves access to an indoor court. So without further ado, let's get started. So the traction is nothing new from the year 2011 or 2012. They are using translucent rubber, and thanks to weartesters.com, the traction pattern has not changed. So they're still using that hollowed out version of the snake scales. So they pretty much filled out the cracks and turned that into the traction pattern. So how does that play out on court? The translucent rubber works very well on an indoor and relatively clean court. Outdoors, I'm not so sure. Does it grip or does it slip? It is a grip. It does have that thin layer of film that you might have to break in. That slick outer layer does translate to a little bit of slippage, but once that goes away, you're pretty much good to go. So one shoot around and you're good. Grips like crazy. There is a little bit of dust buildup, as you can see. Carved out holes usually mean dust pickup, and if it's a well-maintained floor, you shouldn't have a problem. But again, if you are going to use it outside, you might be burning through that rubber really quick and you will be exposed to a lot of dust. So dust buildup might catch up to you. But in my 3 sessions of using the shoe, no dust pickup so far, and if ever, a quick wipe was good enough to relieve that slippage. So onto the cushion. The cushion is the main thing that they changed, given that this is a performance retro. The forefoot, they stacked it up with a Zoom turbo unit, and the back is a Cushlon. So does that sound familiar? Giving it a new school flavor really does help the shoe. There is a lot of bounce in the forefoot. Zoom Turbo is articulated and it's a little less larger than what they used in the Kyrie 7. So it doesn't give you that feeling of like tippiness, which I experienced in the Kyrie 7. And since the Cushlon is a lot more felt, thanks to not being too high off the ground in the forefoot, I did experience a really good heel-to-toe transition. So if you are one of those guys who plan to just walk around, if you're not really going to use this to play basketball in, this would be a good casual shoe as well. Also adding to the cushion, the midsole, I don't know if you can see it, it's a lot more pliable than what I remember it to be. So there's a lot of give if I'm putting pressure onto it. I don't remember it being that malleable back then when I was in college, which is why I stayed away from the shoe because it was so narrow. Given my pronation, I do tend to pronate a lot here. As you can see, there's already a crease. It's not really affecting me performance-wise. If anything at all, it's giving me a smooth step-in comfort. So cushion has definitely stepped up for the Protro. That's one of the main changes. I really like playing in it. All right, so as much as fit and sizing is concerned, I really recommend going true to size. I am a wide footer, but since the inside of the shoe, this part right here, does not stick up on the arc or the lack of arc that I have. The theme of the Kobe 6 is that it molds to your foot. So the cushion along with the materials really hold true to that additive that it is the type of shoe that molds to your foot. So you should be good with your normal Nike size. This is a Protro, so they use old tech. But just because it's old tech doesn't mean it doesn't work. I actually prefer fit of this shoe versus the new wave of sneakers, if you will. So go true to size, does not create any tippiness or the feeling of too narrow. It's the number one-to-one fit shoe. So with regards to the materials, you do have that micro mesh underneath the plastic snake scales. What micro mesh does is that it allows for really fast break-in time without the sacrifice of hurting you or giving you any discomfort whatsoever. Underneath that is the torch tongue. So thank you Nightwing2303 for letting me know that. There's a lot of neoprene present in the shoe, so that's a lot of free-flowing materials. So they don't really restrict you too much. Allows for a lot of movement and a lot of like creasing. This just might be the greatest Kobe of all time. It found the balance of staying true to what Kobe is, which is like the Mamba theme, but at the same time, a great performer all in all. All right, lastly for support, I just want to get into this real quick. The adding of these fly wire cables within that foot-forming micro mesh. That allowed for a lot of containment, so it really improved the shoe. And if you're one of those guys who like to rock, allows for a lot of adaptive pronation. So So if you are the point guard, you are going to find benefit for the shoe. That, along with that iridescent plastic that you can find at the back of the shoe, once that material also breaks in, the Nike Kobe 6 Protro really does mold to your foot. All right, overall, with a price point of 8,800 pesos, or roughly I think $180, you do get that performance improvement, which is pretty much like, it's like the Kyrie 7, the low version, and a really good low version because it doesn't have that tippy feeling. Also, you get the nostalgic value, which makes it a really good buy. And it's the best rendition of the Kobe Protro in the Protro line, as far as I can say. If you think otherwise, let me know in the comment section. What I think is that this is the best hoop shoe today, given that it is a mix of old tech and new tech. So for all you hoop junkies out there, you might want to pull out all the stops and try to get this pair. So I'm gonna try to get my best Mamba impression. Thanks for watching. See you in the next shoe. Peace. Clutch. Mamba face.